this is me, it's Mickey Nobody, and I'm joined today for a special interview with the guys from 601. Is it 601 or 601?
It's 601.
601, perfect. And I've got George and Nat here. First of all, how are you guys doing this Sunday?
Absolutely fine, mate.
Yeah. Sunday, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Good to hear. So I didn't realise until pretty recently that you guys have been doing this for about just over 30 years now.
Yep.
How is it to get from whatever that original vision was back in '93 up to now in 2025? You guys have had a good bit of reception for the last album, We Are Not the Same. How does that feel for you guys after so long kind of working on this?
Funny thing is, with this record, is we've kind of gone back to a lot of how we felt back in '93. Like we always liked metal and rock music and stuff like that. Anyway, obviously I'm a metal and rock journalist myself, and so it's been like this album was basically we were going to make the album we wanted to hear and cover the influences that have stuck with us up for a long time. So it's funny, the older you get, the more you go back to the child you were in your formative years. Like when you were 16, the stuff you thought rocked when you were 16, you probably still think rocks now. So yeah, Nat, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. The music you listen to when you're 18 and 19, I don't think it matters how old you are. That's kind of the best music, I think, because it's from a pivotal time in your life, and it all means so much. So yeah.
So
but it's been a long journey, and it's had its ups and downs and its on and offs. But yeah, no, it's just a continuation. Really, we've known each other for so long. It's it's easy just to get it done.
So again, like you guys have been doing this for so long, what since the kind of original vision for this has changed, if anything, coming into now again with that kind of 30 years difference? How much has changed in that time of what you wanted this to be, and how has it evolved?
We just have better technology now, better kit. That's one of the benefits of being middle-aged, and we've also had 30 years practice. So the sound you think you're making in your head isn't always the sound you're making, and I think now we're able to execute on what those ideas we have a lot easier than when we were back in the old days with a couple of synths bought from pawn shops and an Amiga 500 with Optomed running on it. So it's a lot easier nowadays. I think for everybody, the technology has come so far. It's so much stuff. It's incredible.
There is a big difference to us now as there was in the earlier days, in that we were a three-piece when we started, and Sam Wilkes, I do have to give a shout out. He had to leave the band through ill health, and he's back in hospital again. So shout out to Sam, get well soon. He's still a massive part of the journey, and I feel he needs shouting out in one of these interviews, and I am shouting him out. So he was our hype man, if you like. He was. We were only discussing in the car on the way to Manchester the other day, like how much we'd love to have that old Sam back on stage with us, because he was the guy. He had analog keyboards, and he used to make all these whooshy noises and stuff, and wander off with a microphone and talk to the crowd and stuff like that. He was a really funny presence to have on stage, and everyone loved him, until unfortunately he got really sick. And shouts outs to Sam, definitely.
Massive love. Like the music industry needs more people like that for bands and people. And I'm sorry to obviously hear about his health. Hopefully he can get back on his feet soon enough. I don't know, Sam, or how severe it is, but hopefully it's something he can come back from.
That's so.
So, kind of going on you mentioned obviously the hardware's a lot easier to get hold of. There's a lot more newer technology. What would you recommend to somebody looking to get into this side of the industry now, electronic music? what equipment, hardware, software are you guys using now that you weren't able to use before, and what would you recommend people who want to get into it to get hold of first?
I mean, to be honest, a lot of what we're doing is sample based still. Even though we have synths and things now, a lot of the time we're just making samples from those synths and then manipulating them. We use Ableton. We've always used Ableton from the year dot, and I'd recommend that to anybody because it's just so the speed to get ideas down is just incredible. Yeah, so we use Ableton. We've got a load of synths. Got some nice external effects that spice everything up. You know, it's mainly using samples, but it's always good to have hands-on with things that you can manipulate, and that's how sounds don't sound boring if you're constantly slightly tweaking stuff. You know, it's so much easier with hardware. Yeah, I mean, I'd say we're mainly sample based still, as we were back in the day. You know,
the key difference being that we make the samples ourselves now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have the big sort of modular synths and stuff to do. So we sample ourselves, which is kind of cool. We're trying to make it so the next album is like 100% us, like everything, like from there's guitars I'm playing, the keyboards, they have all been sampled from Nat's. What you can't see out of shot with Nat there is he's got a ton of equipment around his sides there, synths and bits and pieces. So yeah, but that's amassed over time, you know. But if there was someone who wanted to just get to know the basics and all that, I echo what Nat says. Ableton's great. If you want to go the Logic route, I suggest you do that first. Don't, because when you pick your DAW that you're going to use, that will probably dictate the DAW that you use for eternity, because switching DAWs is an absolute stinker. I've tried switching to Logic and I don't like it. So the one that you choose will be the one that you will use. So.
But plus, I mean, from my point of view, I think Ableton is far superior the way that it handles audio. You know, audio is completely elastic, which comes in handy when we're, you know, I mean, recently we've been doing a load of remixes for like bands, not, you know, historically we've done remixes for other dance acts. And when you're dealing with guitars and weird time signatures and things like that, it just helps that you can manipulate the audio as much as you can to kind of move it into our world and our sensibilities of, you know, BPM and time signatures, which is always 4/4 because, you know, we're simple.
On the note of you mentioned collaborations there, you guys have a lot of collaborations on this latest record. What was, if any, kind of the biggest struggles of getting some of those put together in a meaningful way? Sorry,
that's all right.
Like basically the collabs came about through my work with Devolution magazine, and before that with Fudinati UK. And I was doing interviews with a few of these bands, and I did a couple. And after a while, you build a bit of a bond with these musicians, especially Hidden Mothers and Dinner Celestial Birds, Tribe of Ghosts. You know, we were talking a lot outside of the interviews and at various festivals. You bump into each other, and that it just became as simple as, do you want to jam? And there wasn't like any big like. Nat and I said when we started the We're Not the Same album that we were taking a little influence from the Judgment Night soundtrack, in that we wanted to take people from different worlds and fuse them together. And I said, well, no one's done that in a post-rock sort of post-metal format before, and so let's do that. And it'd be easy enough to get a guest list together. I definitely had a list of people I wanted for it, and I was lucky they all said yes if they weren't too busy. There was a couple that got away that would have been amazing, but maybe on the next one.
I was going to say, people get back for the next record then?
Well, the next one isn't going to be as collaborative.
Okay.
Like another tactic's probably the wrong word, was to offer to do remixes for people. So we did a bunch of remixes, and that kind of just proved to us and to them that it worked, the idea worked, and that we could be trusted, you know, to remix them, and B, to collaborate with them, and it wouldn't be, a horrible mess. And I think that just gave people confidence to say yes as well, so.
Also, it helps that I've got my feet in both worlds, obviously with the journalism stuff. So it's like the big bugbear for me going into this record was dance music and metal have been combined like a lot over the years. It's nothing new, but I always think one element suffers for the other one to shine, and there's never really correct balance. So it'll either sound like guitars being tacked on, or it'll sound like it's a dance record, or it'll sound like it's a rock album with the electronic bits in the back of the mix. There's never anything where it all sounds like it's jamming together, apart from maybe Enter Shikari do it pretty well. So I wanted to do something with full-blooded sounding guitars, like sort of mixed properly. As a guitarist myself, I just wanted that to sound right. And just do a different take on it. Do a 601 take on it, because we're trying to sort of create in a vacuum at the moment. Just forget genre, forget what else everyone else is doing. Just make it work within the 601 context. So I think that's it.
Nice. And so what are live shows? Have you guys got any lined up? Are you planning to do a lot of any? Because obviously it's not going to be quite the same vibe as having like a full band. But then with you guys saying you want to do more of that in the next album, is that something we can expect to see in the future?
We're getting a live show together. It's going to be ready hopefully for 2026. We've got a couple of musicians joining us who... I won't give away their names, but I will give away a clue. They appear on the album. It's going to be us playing, the beats and all that sort of stuff, and the guitars and stuff. There will be some bass played live on top of it, and maybe special guests depending on which town we're in. But it's going to be more of an event thing. To begin with, we're going to be doing some special targeted gigs, and in between that we DJ. We were just DJing with Hidden Mothers in Sheffield just this Friday gone, and then Saturday before that we were with Civil Service in Manchester and Pleiades and The Grey, back with The Grey in Cambridge in December. They're DJ things that we're doing just to get out there. And there'll be more DJ things, but there will be live things as well. And keep your eyes peeled for that, because we're putting it together right now. That's why we've gone in with DJ sets first, so we can put this together in the background.
Fantastic stuff. Well, keep us posted. We'll do our best to promote from our side for you guys as best we can. Try and get you a few extra people indoors.
No problem.
And I suppose I was going back to you guys talking about remixes. As somebody who grew up in the 90s, like remixes were a big thing at the time, and they seem to have gone away in the recent years. So it's good to see people back doing that. Is that something that you guys, if a band, like a random band, were to ask you to do, is it something you would consider, or is it kind of you reach out and then go, this is what we do, how about we mix it together?
Well, it depends on who it is. It depends if we like the song. At the moment, we've got a bunch come in, and we've said after that, because we're sorting out the live show, we're going to cap it at that for the moment, because it does take a lot of time out of our work, to our schedule, when we could be writing new tracks, or we could be sorting out the live show and all that sort of stuff. So we've got some absolute belters coming out soon, which I can't actually tell you yet. We can tell you one. We've got a remix with Civil Service coming out soon of their track Black Giraffes.
Okay.
And there's another 3 after that. I'd love to say, but I'm not allowed because they're not finished yet. But after that we're going to cap it for a bit. But that's not to say never. And
no, absolutely. I mean, we love doing remixes because it's just another influence, another. Sometimes it's almost like a puzzle to solve of how do we take this and make it so it sounds like something we would do, and fits with our sound. So yeah, no, we enjoy doing them. It's a good mental exercise more than anything, and it's always nice. I mean, that's the thing about the collaborations. They bring such a different energy and different ideas, and just spark so many ideas off. It's just one of the most creative things. I think it can be hard sometimes when you just sat there staring at a blank, screen in Ableton, wondering what to do. And I personally, I mean, I work better off other people's ideas, to be honest with you, and that's how me and George work. So if it's other people's ideas, that's cool with me as well, So
yeah. So if we think it's a belter, if something gets sent through to us and we think, yeah, we can do something with this, then that's, we'll talk.
Is there anybody? Sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, if somebody wants to pay us loads of money to do one, we'd probably
there is that
remix anything.
There is that, yeah. We'll remix a pop record if you send that to us, but it's going to have a check attached to it.
Is there anyone out there in the industry, big or small, that you guys don't necessarily have anything lined up with, but would want to work with in particular? Is there anyone? Do you guys have like a top 5 list or anything between you?
There's a couple. Go on, Nat. Can you think of any?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm happy to work with anybody really, as long as I feel like it's a worthwhile thing to do. If we can do it, make a difference. There's no point us just sticking something out for the sake of it. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure George has got a big long list. Because he's a lot closer to the industry and knows a lot of like up and coming bands and things like that. So yeah.
But if we were talking wish lists, I'd adore doing something with Run the Jewels. Backwash. There's an artist called Hang Linton in Leeds who I'd love to. We're aware of each other, and it's one of those ones. If the schedule's clear, then we might try and do something. I've been lucky enough to collaborate with on my solo stuff with an idol of mine, and that'll come out early next year. Yeah, so I'd love to do some more sort of hip hop collabs actually. I'd love to have some good and UK rappers as well. There's a couple of great ones. Rainy Miller from Manchester, I'm quite into him. There's a bunch, but also bands. I'd be open to listening to anything really. Yeah, just if it's exciting. Shooting daggers. I'd love to do something with shooting daggers.
So now, a minute ago, you kind of mentioned you work best working off of the ideas of others. Is that always been the dynamic between you and George since you started this project? Has it been him going, let's do something like this, and then you make it a thing? Is that kind of how it works for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we don't live in the same town, so there is a lot of remote kind of working. I mean, we're not that far away from each other, an hour or 45 minutes, so we do see each other quite a lot. But usually, I mean, there are some tunes where I'll start them, but it is always a backwards and forwards of George will send me an idea, I'll add my bits to it, send it back, and then it comes back again. And then, I do all the production, the mixing and stuff like that. But it is definitely a full-on collaboration. It's very rare that we sit in a room and write together at the same time.
We used to do that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times when you're writing a tune when you can spend the entire evening just listening to hi-hat cymbals. Which is the best.
Nobody needs that in their life.
That's not the best use of your. That's not the best use of your time when you've got time together. You know what I mean? You want to get all that shit done before you meet each other, and then go. Here's the first 8 bars. Like there's the groove. We've assembled that, and then you can do some serious work off that, rather than going. Do you think that kick's better than that kick? And so that's not the best use of your time. So the way we back on our last album, I think yeah, when we did We Do Bass, which was our last album, there was a bit of that where we were sitting in the same room and you end up getting on top of each other. It's good to go away and play with the bits that might fail and all that, and have the bits that didn't fail, and then come together and go, this sounds banging. Like, you know.
And yeah, and we've been working long enough that we know what each other person's going to do, and we don't get offended if one of us listens to something the other person does and goes, that's a bit shit, mate, we need to redo that bass line or something like that. Yeah, but I mean, again, with the collaboration, like for an example, on the album, the Hidden Mothers track, we were just expecting some guitar parts to come back from Harry, and he sent like 64 extra stems of weird sounds and things like that. And there was one sound that was really in the background. It's like a totally like background incidental sound. And I heard it and I thought, no, that's too good to be in the background. So, you know, we boosted up the volume, re-edited it slightly, and made it that became like one of the like main sounds of like the second part of the tune. It's like we would have never have come up with that, and it's just hearing something, and yeah, it just sparks an idea, and it's like, oh, what about this? We could do this with it, you know. And that's the kind of thing that I like, and I think that's how you get interesting music, where it's different people bringing different ideas, and then, you know, working on those ideas and seeing something maybe different in them, you know. And it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's that initial spark that's the most important, because then once you've got the initial spark, you can take it down all the avenues. But sitting there waiting for that spark to happen, it can take a while.
Yeah.
So,
have you guys ever butted heads on any tracks in the past, or has there been a track that's kind of stood out that's taken longest to get right for both of you?
I mean, the album's taken quite a long time as well, but I think I was thinking about this today, about why that is. It was a question that came up the other day. It's taken like 4 years. And I think it's because when we started thinking about this, it was going to be an EP, because that's how music seemed to be packaged back then. And now it seems to be more, we're back to albums, you know. Singles don't really do a huge amount, and it was once we realized the potential of these collaborations, you know, it was like, oh, let's do another track. And it's like, well, hang on, there's 2 EPs here, and by the time we'd finished, we had 12 tracks. So, but I don't think, I'm trying to think if we've ever disagreed on a tune.
I don't think we've ever butted heads musically.
No. I think there's probably ideas we've sent to each other that we've kind of like filed away and then never worked on at all, because it's kind of like we have quite a good quality control. We're not going to spend loads of time on something we don't like, I think. So it's only the cream that gets the attention.
There is a folder of doom, which is where things go to die, and they sit on the computer for ages. But I will say, for anyone who's making electronic music, sometimes you can find ideas that you ditched years ago and come back to them, and they're actually
absolutely
there's something in there that's banging. But
I'll regularly go back through old ideas, and even if it's just pulling a sound out of it or something, there's always something there, you know. It's just if it's not worthy of the attention to make it a full tune. So
just have an external drive that you just file away.
So kind of along the same kind of note then, is there any specific track on the album that stands out to either of you that kind of means the most, or that you think just sounds best? Or is that more like trying to pick your favourite child?
Yeah, we've had this question before.
It is a little bit, to be honest, it can be, for me, it's kind of like picking my least hated child. Because I've listened to these tunes so much, you know, I can't listen to them subjectively anymore. I mean, I'm super stoked with how it's turned out. It sounds amazing, you know. I'm really proud of the album, but I think there's a lot of pain comes in making an album. I think maybe it's like giving birth, you know.
And then you give your baby away.
Yeah, and then you forget about how much it hurts and you do it again. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's definitely the best thing we've ever done. And yeah, it's to work with other I was going to say work with other amazing musicians. That makes it sound like I'm saying I'm an amazing musician. To work with amazing musicians as well, just that has made it even better. And I think the collaboration tracks are some of my favourite ones. The Hidden Mothers ones is amazing. I'm really happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Nat in a way. I mean, I'm always gonna be an album listener. As a listener, I like albums. I always think of singles as being like flyers for the album.
Yeah.
And in a lot of magazines and stuff, don't even review singles anymore. So as a whole, as a cohesive journey that actually makes sense, because there's a lot of different stuff in there. It could be higgledy-piggledy. I think the main success of it is that it all makes sense and sounds cohesive. So yeah, I couldn't pick out a single track. I do like the fact that we've got like the Tribe of Ghost track at the end. Just really flips it on its head, and I love what was brought to that by Adam. I thought he was fantastic on that, and a total pro. So yeah, I'm just happy with the whole journey. I love the way it works. I spent a long time working out the track listing for it so it would like flow, and not be like front loaded with guitars, or it took me a long time to get it right. But yeah, there's not a single track that stands out. I'm just happy they're all as consistent as each other, really.
Brilliant stuff. Right, just being mindful of the time we've got left. George, you mentioned there was something you needed to promote and plug before we close off the show.
There is. I've got it here. Right, this is Orkan Cerulean. I hope I'm saying that right. This is a beautiful double compilation album with a comic book in the middle. Look at that. This is from our label See Here Recordings, and this is all profits from this go to cancer research. You can pick it up from the See Here Recordings Bandcamp, and it's got us. We've got an exclusive track on it. We've got Transglobal Underground. We have Zion Train. We have Banco de Gaia, Zulu Nation, minus Africa Bambata. Loads of stuff on this. It's a fantastic album, beautiful. It's got all kinds of artwork in it, and it's a tribute to the late great Dave Muddyman, who was one of the members of Luke Guru, who sadly died of cancer. And we've done this vinyl, and we put out an EP as well. All proceeds, all profits are going to cancer research. So if you get on the Bandcamp for See Here Recordings, which are the label we're signed to, and grab a copy. It's a beautiful thing.
Fantastic stuff. And where's the best place for fans to check out your music and support you guys directly as well? Where can people go to do that?
Well, that's the See Here Recordings Bandcamp. Obviously, music is available everywhere. So whatever streamer you use, it's on the ethical ones and the not ethical ones.
Obviously, the best thing for people to do if they want to support us is actually buy it rather than just streaming it. Yeah.
Well, we've got some Bandcamp bundles coming up,
Awesome.
which will be on the See Here Recordings site, hopefully for Bandcamp Friday, the next one, which I believe is the 7th or the 9th. We will be doing stuff on our socials. Just follow our socials. There's 601 underscore band at Instagram and 601 music at Facebook.
Brilliant. Well, I think that's just about everything we can go through for the people on YouTube. Goodbye. However, for the people on Mixcloud, we can play one of your tracks to close this show with. So what track would you like us to play? And I will let you guys get on with your Sunday evenings.
Ooh, which track should I play in that? I tell you what, play him Killer. Killer, I'll collab with Fake You Death. So I think that'll go over well with your crowd. It's got guitars, it's got shouting, it's got amen breaks and gabba.
Fantastic stuff. Well, thank you, George. Thank you, Nat. Thank you to everybody listening and watching. This is Killer featuring Fake Your Death with 601.